So here we're starting with lat pull downs. We're doing 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. We're trying to first start with a lighter weight. You know what I mean? Really stimulate the muscle, get a good pump in, really contract and feel the movement. This would be my 4th set. Heavier weight. Trying to get maybe 6 to 8 reps in just for the last movement of 4. You know what I mean? Really trying to feel that squeeze. Trying to bring down without as much jerk as possible and letting it up slow. Just again, really activating those lats. Our second movement here is dumbbell row. It's a variation, change it up once in a while from a barbell, just to a little more symmetry, a little more one-on-one. It's definitely a good row for your back, for your rhomboids, everything. Target that upper back. We're now getting into seated T-bar row. This really activates a lot of your back. Really good mass builder. Great for an archer. Again, this is a back workout that can really focus on an archery type style back to shoulders to rhomboids to rear delts. So again, we try to keep the rep range to 12, even 15, starting off a little later. Really feeling the contractions. Here we're really trying to target more of your upper back, a little bit of your rear delts. Start off the first weight. Again, a little lighter. I always like to start off with a bit of a lighter weight to really feel the movement, especially my back, and have it though it's not too light where I could be at 15 reps and I still got 4 more in the tank. So we continue doing it. Me and Danny, you saw earlier in the video. By this point, this is my 4th set. I'm just trying to really activate the muscle as much as possible without keeping the best form as possible. Form is definitely a huge thing. I wouldn't want to sacrifice form. I mean, if you want to get a few last reps out, do it, but you can. So now just deadlifts. We worked our way up from a plate to 2 plates. A lot of people neglect deadlifts. I think they're very important for your lower back, your symmetry, strength. You don't want to have I think of like a tree, you know what I mean? You need a base, right? You can't just work off the ground. So, power movements like squats, deadlifts, shoulder press, standing military press, I still incorporate into my workouts because, again, I think they're very important. And I think this is more of a strength movement. And again, for an outdoorsman, I think strength's a really big thing as long as endurance. It's not just about weights. Cardio is a huge part of this. You can be the strongest guy out there, but if you can't get to your tree stand without, sweating up a storm and having to break every 5 seconds, you might have a hard time. So this is kind of an older movement. It's a lat pullover. Again, this is one of my favorite movements for back. You can really feel the activation. I mean, I'm raising a little more than I should be here, but it's a great movement for thickness. I think density. You really feel the contraction. Don't go too heavy. I'm just showing you now another variation of how I do this movement. If you don't like to lie flat across a bench, you can try this angle. Now, if you really want to activate your lats individually, you don't want to pull it pretty much over your forehead. Once you kind of get to the middle of your chest, you are activating a bit of your chest and taking some of the tension off your lats and your back. But again, it's a great movement that you see neglected, and I just really believe in it. So now this movement in particular is something I really would think somebody is trying to maybe get their draw weight up, or more comfort or just more activation of the muscles they're using when they're pretty much contracting a bow. So this is the best grip I could find. It wasn't the exact one I want, but I made do with what I had. Again, I'm just trying to hold at the back, kind of stimulating the back wall, really just activating, again, my rhomboids, my trapezius, my rear delts. I mean, I do rear delts with my shoulders, but I feel that I can put a little bit of work in them as well. Now I just did a quick, bicep workout, little curls for the girls. Just 3 to 4 movements, 3 to 4 sets each. Again, I really believe in you stimulate your biceps extremely well when you do a lot of back movements, but the extra bicep movements obviously don't help. Try to do one seated dumbbell press. I try to bring in movements that aren't always just barbells, because I find, you'll start to get stronger on one side, and people say it's not really true, but I have noticed that. Like, for people who do a lot of, like, say, squats, leg press, yeah, they're probably phenomenally strong, but then, put them on a machine, they're doing, so they a leg press, individual legs, and they will find over time that they have a pretty predominant leg on one side. So, I just try to kind of bring it in, but again, I believe in working, your whole body. It's again a very important tool, so you need it, especially when you're backpacking or sitting in your tree stand, drawing that 70-pound bow. Little hammer curls, just a different angle of your biceps that I do believe